Okay, last class we discussed how to create multiple tables. Okay, it comes with experience. Okay, that is one screen what you have seen, and you got a faint idea of it. As you go on seeing more screens now, and more projects you go on doing, you get better idea. Okay, so it's an art. It comes with experience, but just I give an exposure to what is database and how database tables are built according to UI. You should not study tables independently. Always tables in a database should be studied along with UI. Okay, so most of the people who train databases, they train database only from the tables point of view. But I'm just changing that process, and what I'm doing is I'm taking UI and teaching you database from the UI point of view. And always tables are designed like that only. Understood? So because applications have some requirement, when you develop applications now, they'll have some requirement, and depending upon the requirement you'll build the application, and depending upon the requirement you'll capture the values. You're going to capture the values, and since you want to capture the values, depending on that you'll design the table. So it's quite obvious now, tables are always built according to the application and according to UI now. Okay, so that itself, yesterday only what you saw is called as normalization. What is normalization? Storing data into multiple tables only is called as normalization. Okay, lot of research has happened for doing normalization, 50-60 years, but all the things means whatever normalization, so many types are there, first level, second level and all that, but finally whatever normalization it is, they are all trying to give you only one support. What? Normalization is a subject of what? Avoiding null values and redundant values. That's all. That's what normalization talks about. Okay, see this is some notes on normalization, you can write it down. So what is normalization? Normalization is a process where large tables are divided into what? Large tables are divided into smaller tables, and these smaller tables are related with each other. They are going to be related. Okay, this is mainly done to avoid redundant values, duplicates. Understood? Having redundancy can cause two major problems. What are the major problems? Like when you are doing data manipulation, CUD, like updating and all that, it becomes very complicated. While doing inserting also, it becomes more complicated. Understood? Like that, doing operation, CUD operation becomes very complicated. It also occupies more storage space. Next, if normalization is done, future changes to the data in the database will be easy and maintenance reduces. If you do normalization, maintenance will be easy, and it also occupies less storage space. Normalization is mainly done while storing values into database. Understood? RDBMS databases support what? Normalization. Relational database management systems support which one? Normalization. Understood? Even ORDBMS support normalization. In fact, we are studying which database now? ORDBMS only. Okay, but we are using only what? RDBMS features. That's what I told you. Understood? We'll see what is ORDBMS later. But out of ORDBMS, we are learning RDBMS. Both, in fact, both RDBMS and ORDBMS databases support what? Normalization. Both. Okay. But there is some difference between RDBMS and ORDBMS. ORDBMS has all the features about RDBMS. That you understand. ORDBMS has all the features of RDBMS, but it has some extra features that we'll see later. Understood? Right now, yes, learning the RDBMS features. So that is what is normalization. Now, what is denormalization? What is denormalization now? Means allowing redundancy in a table. It is achieved by what? Storing all the data into a single table. The main benefit of denormalization is to improve the read performance of the database, or when a lot of read queries will be written. So CUD, this is good. Read operation, this is good. Okay, so this is mainly done in data warehousing when creating reports or statistics. This is what I told you in the last class. Done now? Okay, so these many points you can write about normalization and denormalization. And you got the idea, no? Faint idea like about how the applications are developed and all. Fine, say this. So UIs will be there. Your application will have UIs. Like first name, last name, will be collecting the values, more values, just I'm writing 2, 3 here. User is going to submit, so it enters your application. Okay, your application is going to dump the values into database. In database you can have any number of tables, 2, 3, it depends. So this is normalization. So we application developers always want, both are good. Don't think normalization is good or denormalization is good. Both are equally good. It depends on the requirement scenario. So we application developers and all, we prefer what? Normalization. So while collecting the data in an application, we'll apply normalization. Okay. Then later on what happened, one more backend team, what they'll do for generating reports, statistics and all, they will take this data and store it into another database, completely new database. They'll not manipulate anything here. They'll collect it and put it into another table in that database, it will be in a single table. So this is data warehousing, the subject. So, and this process they call it as ETL, means extract, transform, load. ETL stands for this, and they have their own terminology, data mining and all that. So this is done by other people, you don't have to worry. Understood? But I'm just giving you the idea of how databases will be used in projects. Clear? Any questions here? So understood what is normalization, denormalization? So here what happens? Here we use what? Denormalization. Here if it is normalization, there will be talking about denormalization. And the data in this table they'll use for what? Generating statistics, reports and all that. Clear? Very simple subject. Okay, so applications can be on, see, we application developers use the data and write what? Domain logic. You understanding what kind of logics you write? Not addition, subtraction, arranging and ascending, not that kind of logic. Generally in colleges you have studied this kind of logic. But when it comes to practical usage, we write domain specific logics. Like if it is insurance application, we calculate the premium or something like that. If it is banking application, we calculate rate of interest, something like that. I'm telling you examples. If it is retail application, some other logic you write. And these kind of logics come with experience. As you go on developing projects, you get it. Understood? So these are the logics what we are supposed to do now. Understood? Right, actually later. Understood? And as I told you, see, for doing CRUD operations in database, okay, Java gives you excellent libraries. For doing CRUD operations we did now, application has to connect now. You can use any language here. Which language? C, C++, VB, Java, name. Plenty of languages are there. Using this language you will do what? You will write the code now to insert these queries into database. But now you have to write lengthy code. But Java gives you libraries. Some of the most powerful libraries which we use for doing CRUD operations are doing persistent operation we say. Persistent operations are, one of the libraries JDBC. Second library is Hibernate. Plenty are there. Third most popular one which will be a big hit in the market will be JPA, Java Persistence API. Okay, it is emerging, slowly it will dominate. Then next, many are there, the list is endless. iBatis, Kudos, Toplink, innumerable are there. Understood? So let's see why there are so many solutions. These are all libraries, Java libraries. Okay, that we'll see later. But to just give you an idea, JDBC, JP and all are Sun specifications. We'll not understand right now, we'll see it later when we do it. These are Sun specifications, or they are APIs specified by Sun. Hibernate is a proprietary solution, that's it. Nothing more different here. Means some other person is giving you the solution, third party person. Here Sun is giving you the solution, there third party will give the solution. Understood? So this is the whole story now. So we have to learn this now. Once you learn the database, next will be these topics. Done? So Java has got excellent libraries for everything here. So normalization, denormalization, everything covered. Our role, you are understanding now what is our role. Clear? And we have started doing the project. Which project? Employee project. Okay, so to make the subject more interesting, what we are doing? We are doing the employee project. In that project itself, when you start applying all this, you start understanding which one will be used where now. Understood? Clearly start understanding. Shall I clear all this now? Okay. So to do the project, some more extra information is needed now, which I will cover today. After I teach you some more things only, you can do that project. So let's see what all things. So today I will go with SQL functions. Okay, tables you have created now, keep it aside. Okay. Next I will teach you some more things. After teaching you some more things, then I will be starting the project now. Shall I clear all this now? You put that thing as SQL functions. See, this is also, you got functions here, built-in functions. You can use them. Plenty of functions are there. Okay, and they have classified it. SQL functions have been classified. I'll show you. So we can classify, and some of the four means I've classified it into 4 categories. Okay, you can name it as, first one would be conversion functions, second one would be string functions, mathematical and aggregate functions. 4 types of functions. Still more are there. Just we'll cover few of them. Okay. See, these are the 4 different types of functions. I have classified only 4. Many are there. Leave it. Conversion functions, string functions, mathematical functions, aggregate functions. Among these 2 are very, very important. Okay, but aggregate is very, very, very important. Aggregate functions, they are very important. Okay, these 2 not that important, but from syllabus point of view I'll cover it. We'll finish it fast. Not that very important. Okay, but just I'm showing you the support what you're getting from the database. Practically we don't use. When I'm saying not important, we don't use it in what? Practical point of view. That is what I mean to say. So some things you have to understand. That's why I took a project now. Immediately why did I do? To took a project to understand what are the things we have to exactly learn from database point of view. Otherwise you'll go on learning everything. There's no use. Understood? I'm telling you simple. Database is very, very simple. Just learn to do CRUD operations with multiple tables. That's it. Over. More than that, nothing you'll do. Just learn to do what? CRUD. You learn doing CRUD operation with what? Single table. Just learn to do CRUD operations with multiple tables. Over. Nothing more is there in database. It is the easiest. Understood? So just see how it will go now. Okay. We will do the project, but before that, see, you can just list down all the functions which are there. So conversion functions, 2 underscore date, 2 underscore char, 2 underscore number, NVL. These are the 4 conversion functions. String functions, I listed 9. Still more might be there, just understand. Okay. Then mathematical functions, around 8 I have listed. Aggregate functions, 5. Those aggregate functions are very important, especially average count, which is asked very frequently in interview. Understood? So we'll go to that. So today I'll cover these 3 functions. Which one? Conversion, string and mathematical functions, which are very important. Clear? Conversion, string and mathematical functions I'll cover. You can list down all this. Clear? So now we'll take the first one. Which one? Conversion function. In that I'll be going with what? 2 underscore date and 2 underscore char. We'll see this. 2 underscore date and 2 underscore char. See this 2 underscore date and 2 underscore char, both are used for working with date data type. You know the date data type, no? There's one data type called as what? Date. Date of birth. See, in employee table you'll have what? Employee ID, you'll have his name, then you might have his what? Date of birth. So ID will be numeric data type, employee name will be varchar 2, date of birth will be of type what? Date. So this, to work with this type of data type, you should know these 2 functions. Okay. So this will be, just to make understand, this will be number, this will be varchar 2. So this is date data type. Okay. Now what does 2 underscore date do? Very simple. It converts string to date. And what will this do? 2 underscore char? It converts date to string. Okay, see from practically application point of view, what exactly happens is, as I keep telling you, see if this is your UI, he might be selecting date of birth here. He might be entering date of birth. He'll be entering his name and he might be entering date of birth and he'll submit. So what happens now? It will come to your application. You have to store it into database. Yes or no? So when the values enter into your application, it always enters as what format? String format. Whenever the values come into your application, they'll be coming in the form of string. Okay, see from practical point of view. Right now I'll be teaching you only from what? Database point of view. But from practical point of view, this is what happens. It comes in the form of string. Now that string has to be converted into what? Date and then stored into database. Okay, so while storing, you'll be converting string to date. Understood? So storing, while doing storing, or when you're doing, okay, when you're storing, you'll convert what? When storing, we convert string to date. Now one more thing might happen. Sometimes you want to display it. You already stored it. That time what you want to do? Convert date to string and display. So sometimes this is for storing. Now sometimes you'll be displaying it. You'll retrieve the values and your application might display it. Something like to tell your date of birth is, or your last, something like last logged in at, or your date of birth is, like this. You might display some time, okay, date and time and all that. When did you last log in and all that. For that, what will you do? So you're displaying now, you'll convert what? While displaying, we convert date to string. Because here, yeah, this is the common thing what will happen now. Okay, so when you are doing developing applications, you'll understand. Right now, you'll see only from what? Database point of view. Just get this basic idea. So I'll start teaching you what now? In conversion functions, two functions. Which are there? In conversion, there are four. Which are the four conversion functions? To underscore date, to underscore char, to underscore number, NVL function. Four functions are there. I'm covering the first two now. Clear? Should I clear all this? So, as I told you, there are four conversion functions: to underscore date, to underscore char, to underscore number, and NVL function. See, these four are there. Right now, I'm going to teach you these two. Understood? Yeah. So, what does to underscore date do? It converts string to date. Okay. To underscore date function actually converts a string to date format. These are built-in functions given to you by what? Oracle now. Okay. So this function is generally used when you are doing CRUD operations. Okay, so just you write this down. I'll just start explaining with examples. Okay. So see today's examples where they have been kept. Simple 9th folder is there. SQL functions. So SQL functions.txt. So don't try to execute what? TXT files. Okay. With what? As script. Scripts we are following what? .SQL format. Queries like this, we'll put it in .txt just to avoid what is that? Confusion. So I'll copy. I got all the queries ready now. So I'll be going with first. Yeah, you log into Apex. Okay, when I got this, one more I'll open the browser, object browser, tables. Fine, these are the 6 tables which we created yesterday. Okay, fine, leave that. Now let's start executing our queries. So see, I'm saying drop table emp underscore date. If it is there, it will drop, else you get an error. So I'll run that to check whether the table is not there or not. It is not there, fine. Okay, let's start creating the table now. So I'm teaching actually mainly focus on what now? What is the data type? Notice here, I'm just taking name is varchar, date of birth is date. Understood? Date of birth is date now. So we are learning the date data type. Till now you learned varchar, number and all. Now we are going to learn date data type. So first I'll create the table now. Run. So table has been created. Come and check. So refresh here, you can see the table. What is the table name? emp underscore date. Select date. Yeah, data, there is no data. Okay, so these are the 2 column names and these are its data types, corresponding data types. Clear now? So we'll focus on working with what now? Date of birth. Okay, fine. So this table is ready now. So what we'll do, we'll try to insert now. Check this out now. What we are doing? Insert into emp date. Correct. This is the table name. This is the name of the table. In which columns I am inserting? Name and date of birth. Understood? Values. So varchar you insert as what? Single quote. That is okay. Now check how I am inserting. The second value. Check out how I am inserting. I am calling up using a function here. Yes or no? And we are passing what? What is this? Arguments. Do not forget your basics. Arguments, parameter come out in every language. So what we are trying out is, say we are actually, this is a function. For this function I am giving 2 arguments. I am telling, I'll give this value and I am telling this is year, this is month, this is date. I am telling in what format it is. So once you tell what format it is, now when you submit this query, the database will take this value, means first it will execute this function. Okay, it will generate on value and that value it will be storing into the database. Understood? Means we are trying to say this value is of this particular type. Database will take this value, do the conversion and then it will store it. Understood? So let's see. I'll execute and show it to you. So one row will be inserted now. So one row is inserted. If you want to come check out data, yes, this has been inserted. Check out is displaying now 23 September 11. It has inserted. That's one record what I inserted. Check this out now, more clearly you'll understand. See now, there's another date I'm inserting. Look at the format. What is it now? 31/12/2008. Fine. Can you see the difference here? Previously it was what? 2011/9/23. Now it's what? 31/12/2008. So like this, values will come from user interface. The user will be entering what? Date in is one format. Okay, means in the application will be telling. What will be telling? This will be the UI. Enter date in, date of birth in what format? You will tell. Means in some application it can be DD, YY format. Some application will tell enter it in DD, YY format. So you will be mentioning it now in the UI. So think from that point of view. So see, if it is coming in this format, I'll tell, means we are writing the query now. So this will enter into your application. So supposingly if your application is telling this, so user will enter this. So you have to tell now, when you are writing the query, what you will tell? It is in DD, YY format, like that. Understood? So always it will come as string, and that you have to send it to the database, but you have to tell it is in which format. So that first this function will execute. Okay, it's a function, it will execute, and after the value is generated, whatever value, so Oracle actually stores date in its own numerical format. Some numerical format it will store, but to store it you have to give the value. Okay, to store it you have to give the value. So we are giving the value and telling it is in this particular format. So it will take this value, do the conversion, and then it will store. Understood? So this is what is happening. See here now, 72903. So like this, values can come in any format now. Are you clear? So this you will start understanding when you start doing applications. So see this. Did I insert the second row? The second one also has been inserted. Now I will insert the third one. Look at this format. What it is? 72903. Correct? Huh? So like this, you have to use what? You are telling in which format it is. So that's why we are using what? Conversion functions to convert the string to date. Again run. See this. Fine. 4 values have been inserted. So I inserted 4 records. A, B, C, D. Okay. So sometimes, see this, you want to insert the system date. That is user giving the value. Sometimes you want to insert what? System date. The date of your system. Sometimes like you last logged in at, that information, that kind of an information. So that time I'll tell what? Sysdate. Sysdate is another function. Another function of what? Oracle. Another function it is. So it will, sysdate will give what? Date and time. See this, I have written here. Sysdate is a function that returns date and time. So like this also, but this will insert the system date. Understood? What is our system date now? Check out at the bottom, 12/5. What is our date today? December 5, 2013. That date will insert. So just check this out. So it has been inserted. Go and refresh. You can see the date here. E value 5th December 13. So sometimes when you want to insert what? System date, you can do it like this. Clear? Fine. Now if you say select star from, you can see the date like this also, right? You might write your query. So this is the way it will display. Same style it is displaying now. What style? While displaying, it will display in what format? DD, MM, month and year format. Date, month and year format while displaying. It will display like this. Fine. See, sometimes you want to write a query. You want to find out like whose date of birth is. Find out all the employees whose date of birth is so and so. Find out the query. Now why am I writing this query? Find out the employee name whose date of birth is 7th and 29th day, 7th month and 2003 year. So see, I'm again using 2_date. You are using 2_date now. How? Select query, you know now. Select name, date of birth. Okay, you want to select what? 2 columns. From which table? EMP_date. Where? See, I'm giving a condition. How I'm giving? Date of birth is equal to, again I'm telling 2_date like this. So automatically it will give me the user name. User name is matching that date of birth. It will display me. See this. Yes, there is C whose date of birth is 29 July 30. Understood? So this is how we use what? 2_date. It is used for converting string to date. Again, this value might come from UI, user interface. We are hard coding here. These values might come from what? User interface. Yeah? Fine. So these are some things about 2_date. See, 2_date function actually converts a string to date format. This function is generally used when you are doing CUD operations, means manipulation operations. Okay. Insert into EMP. See, this is the query. Insert into EMP_date name, date of birth, values, varchar, and then this is what? The function. Understood? Then next, this function will take both the values and do the conversion and then store it into database. Sysdate is a function that returns date and time. It returns date and time also. Clear? Fine. So let's go with what now? 2_char function. So this is used for what now? For displaying, we convert date to string. If you want to display, you can use this. Okay, so it is generally used when you are doing read operations, because you want to read and display it to the user. That time you will be using this. While storing data, while storing date, look at this, while storing date, Oracle stores in its own numerical format. It will be storing its own numerical format. But while displaying, it will display in the default format of what? Date, month and year. Just now you see the display here. It is displaying in this format. While storing it, it will store its own numerical format. But while displaying, it will store it in that format. Yes or no? Date, month and year. It's displaying like that. Fine. Now if you want any other format other than this, then use to_char function. Understood? So we'll start seeing the examples again now straight away. See this select. Okay, this is done. To_char I am using now. See, generally if you say select star from emp_date, you just know, so what is the output? It is displaying you default. Or you are saying star. You might select the particular column also. Like what? Name and date of birth. But you are displaying for what? All employees. So this is how it generally displays. In what format it is displaying generally? Date, month, year format. Okay, this is again for all employees. If you want to select for employee by name A, still it is displaying in what? Same format. Still it is displaying in the same format. Fine. But now check. If you want, you can display it in any other format. See, now I am telling select name. Fine. It will select name. Now I am telling I am using the function. What I am saying, to_char, I am giving the two arguments. One is the column name. Which column I am applying? For this, I have to send two arguments. One is the argument of what? Column name. This is a column name. Then other argument would be what? In what format you want to see? String format. In this particular string format, I have to see. And these are all predefined formats. Sir. Don't try to give your own format. DD, MMMMM. It will not work. These are all predefined. And if you refer to Oracle documents, you will understand that. Time being, don't go to that level. Just practice what I have taught you. Slowly you will understand that. These are all predefined what I am using. Understood? So you are giving for this function. See, are you understanding the difference? If you say only date of birth, what will display? Like this. Date, month and year format. If I want any other format other than that, what I'll use? To_char. So date of birth in this format I want to see, or in this format I want to see. Is not in either DD MMYY or MMDDYY. See, in one country they see the date in one format. Supposingly in India, if you display as 25, like this 0205, in India it is displayed 0205 2013. What will you think? You'll read it as 2nd May. In US, if the same time is displayed, what will they think? They'll think it is 5th of February. In India, it will be treated as 2nd May. In US, it will be treated as 5th February. That will be the difference. So in one country, you have to display it in one format. So that's why we will do this conversion. Understood? So let's see. So that's why these are very important, conversion functions. So see this, I'm going to display now in what format? Yeah. So other than, this is the default. It's saying this one. So see, when you execute this, what it is displaying now? MM will display what? Not name of the month. Numerical value of the month it will display. Done? Default what it is displaying? MON. This is the default format. Do not forget it. What's the default format? Date, month, year. That's the default format. Now any other format other than that? See this. Okay, I displayed in this format now. You understood now this format, what it is doing now. Then next, I will display something like, okay, only for employee A, fine. Run. So it will display. What it is displaying? In month, date and year format. Any other format, you can go on. There are many formats. Now again for A employee, like that. You can go on displaying. Even if you want, you can display first year also. YY now. What is the format? YYY, MMDD, like that. So first it is displaying what? Year now. Then month, then date, like that. Yeah? Okay. Now, till now you saw these things. In fact, This date column is there, no? Which column? This date column. In Oracle, it's very powerful. This date of birth date column has the ability to store date also plus time also. It supports you like that. Date plus time. Till now I was only showing you what? Date. Okay. So if you have a table now, see these are the values which are there in the table now. EMP. What is that? Name, no? Date of birth. What are the values? This is our table right now. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, 5 people. For A, what is the value? 23 September 11. This is the default display. If you see. B, 31st December 08. C, 29 July 03. D, 29 July 03. December. Yeah, 05 December 13. So this is how it has been stored. So it will be storing a numerical format, but while displaying it will display like this, default format. Fine. Next. But right now you saw only what it is displaying? Date. In fact, it has stored time also in that column. But we are seeing only what? Date. If you want to see date and time, both, see this. Just use this format. Same function, 2_char. Understood? 2_char only. But what am I telling? HH, minutes, seconds. That's it. So when I run this query, see this now I'm going with displaying time now. But it is displaying what you know. So if I display like this, okay, it will display in the 12-hour format. You know 12-hour format? Between 0 to 12, not railway timing. If you want 24-hour format, that also it will display. By default, it will display in, if you use HHMM, only this, it will display in 12-hour format. But while inserting, I did not give time noticed. That is why it was taking the time of 12 o'clock. While inserting, I did not give any time. So that's why it was taking what? 12 o'clock. While inserting any time I gave, I just gave the date. Okay. But for sys date, you will see what? Time. Notice. For sys date, you will see the time. For all this, you will not see what? This one, I just inserted the date. A, B, C, D. For E, I inserted what? Sys date. For sys date, you can see date and time. I'll show you that. Anyway, this is for all people. And for E, you can notice, yeah, it is what? 12:24. Notice. Because it was picking the system date. But it is displaying in 12-hour format. Understood? Next. See, if you want, you can see like this for particular employee, E. Only E it will display. What it is displaying? In date plus time it is displaying, both. Because only for E you got what? Time, not for other employees. Because I had used sys date. Sys date is a function, just now you wrote, which returns what? Date and time. So while storing, when you wrote the query, what query you wrote? You wrote this query. What is the query you wrote? So this is the query you wrote. Check out. When you wrote this query, so it was picking date and time and inserting. But if you say only select date of birth, it will display only date. If you want date and time, then you do this. Are you clear with this? Okay. It's displaying 12-hour format. If you want 24-hour format, very simple. Just use 24 beside HH. That's it. So now you'll see in the 24-hour format. See this? Now it's displaying for everybody what? 000. But for E it is 12:24. Because for E it is system date. Understood? Okay. So, and if I want particularly, see this is for all employees. If I want only for employee E, fine. I can give a condition where name is equal to E. Fine. It is displaying only for employee. You can give conditions also and select. Understood now? So while storing, you store it in any format. Similarly, while displaying also, you can display it in any format. Are you clear? Fine. But remember one basic thing. You will give the value, but internally it will be stored in its own numerical format. Okay. But while inserting also, you have to specify what format it is. Understood? It will take that format, do the conversion and store it in its own numerical format. And default display will be what? Again, date, month and year. Default display. When you want to display it apart from that any other format, then you can use 2_char. Yeah? Very simple it is. Just practice, you'll understand. Yes, now see, 2_char. It is used for displaying. We convert date to string. If you want to displaying, then use 2_char function. It is generally used when you are doing read operation. While storing date, Oracle stores in its own numerical format, but while displaying, it will always display in the default format of what? Date, month and year. If you want any other format other than this, then use 2_char function. That's it. Clear? Clear with these two? Okay. Now these two are only bit tricky. Finished. Now other things are very easy. Let's continue now. So 2_date, 2_char over. Okay. Now let's come to the next function, 2_number. What does it do? Converts string to number. Converts string to number. Okay. Very rarely used. Okay. Look at the query here. Just carefully see the query. Select star from dual I am doing. What is dual? You have any idea? It will be on table. Correct? Huh? Yes. So you can write it down. Some notes for dual. First understand this query. Then we'll look into the other query. Dual is a synonym for a table. Okay. So dual is a synonym for a table. Now synonym, what is synonym again if you ask? It's a DB object, which are not yet covered. So when I cover it later, you'll understand. Understood? So dual is a synonym for a table. Synonym is a DB object. And see, dual is a table with a single row and single column with the name dummy. Very simple it is. See, it is on table like this. The name of the table is what? Dual. And it is having a column by name what? Dummy. That's it. I've written it here drawing. The name of the table is what? Dual. There is only one column by name dummy. So that's what I executed. Select star from dual. Understood? So for understanding this, you should understand synonym. Synonym when I cover, you'll understand this very clearly. But just this much basic is more than sufficient now. Yeah? Are you clear with what is synonym? Okay. Synonym is alternate name, man. Like for one, synonym, antonym. For one table, they can give another name. Okay, there's one table now. For that, they are given some name called as dual. That's it. Just understand that much now. Fine. So once this is done, so when I said select star from dual, what did it return? Dummy. The same column name it is displaying, but it is displaying something like X. Means nothing is there. Fine. Now see this. I am using the which function now? 2_number function from dual. Okay. So if I use this function, what happens? It will convert this string to number. That's it. And it will display it here for you. Understood? It will display it for you. That's it. Just concentrate on functions. Don't concentrate on what? Dual table. Just concentrate on functions here. 2_number, what it is doing now? Converting string to number. And it will display it. That's it. Clear? So nothing more about 2_number. Okay. So then we'll go with the next function. NVL function. NVL function. What is NVL function now? It is used for avoiding null values in a column while doing read operation. Sometimes some columns will have what? Null values. So while it will be there present, while it is stored, it means the null value is present. But while reading, you don't want the null value. In the select, when you do the select operation, that time you don't want null. But in database, it is there. Understood? So let's see this with an example only, you'll understand. See, in an NVL function, what does it do? It replaces null values with required values, and it is used for avoiding what? Null values in a column. So drop table EMP. I am dropping the table now. So table does not exist, fine. Now I will create the table. Table has been created. A table has been created with what? Name, EMP. What is the table name? EMP. What is the first column? Employee ID. Next column is what? Name. Next column is what? Salary. Next column is commission. So this is one simple table what we have got now. After creating a table, I'll insert two records. One A, I'll insert, the other one I'll insert as what? B. So but what are the records I'm inserting? For A, 101, name is A, salary is what? Yeah, for him I'm inserting name, salary, 1000. So his commission obviously will be what? Null. So for the employee 102, that is B, he doesn't have salary, but he has got commission. What is the commission he is having? 22. See this, employee ID, name, commission. And what will be the salary for B now? So A has no commission, B has no salary. Understood? So let's see how when you write the query what happens. Okay, see, I'm selecting name and what? Okay, I didn't commit, it's commit. I didn't execute, sorry. Insert the data, run. Again insert the data, 2 rows I'm inserting. Now you can say select. What is the record it will display? I'm selecting only 2 columns. Which one? Even though there are 4, I'm selecting only 2 columns. So for name A, he's got no commission. For B, what is there? Commission is there. Okay, if you want, I'll do select star. See that. And now say, is it clear? What it is displaying? Employee ID, name, salary, commission. Same what I have written on the board, correct? Okay, now. So see, but when I select, I want to select only commission, name and commission. For A, you can see his commission is what? Null. It is null. I don't want that. So what I'll do, see this. While instead of writing the query like this is what I wrote the query. Now what I'll do, I'll use the NVL function. It is called as null value function. The NVL function is called as null value function. So I'll run the query. Now instead of null, what it is selecting? 0. See the value here? Why? Because I wrote the query like this. Select name. Earlier we are selecting like this. But now what did I do? NVL for if a null is found in this column. Which column? Commission column. Replace it with 0 from EMP. Understood? If you want, you can avoid null values. But it is there in database. While selecting, I am avoiding null. You can't modify. Select will not modify the value. Remember that. Select will never modify the value. See, if you want, you can go to the object browser and see EMP table. Refresh. Here you can see what is the data. Null is still there. But while displaying, it is displaying as what? 0. It will not modify. Remember, select will never modify. So the next. Not only that, see, if I want, I can replace with any other value. Like 20 also. See, instead of 0, what it replaced? 20. Any other value also you can replace. Or something like this. If he is not having salary, if he is not having, see this, replace commission with what? Salary. Like that also you can replace. Understood? If he is not having commission, replace it with what? Salary. Any value like this, 0, 20, any other column value will display. Are you clear? So for it is displaying like this. Are you clear? It will replace instead of commission. If his commission is 0, no. Sorry, if his commission is null. If his commission is null, it will replace it with what? Salary. That's it. Okay, fine. Now let's come to That's it about NVL function. Clear? That's all about NVL function. Fine. Then next, we'll go to what? String functions. I already told you these are very rarely used, but just I'll cover it up fast. I want the length of a string. So select length from dual. See, length of cluster from dual. So what is the length it is giving you? 7. Concentrate on the function. Don't concentrate on dual table. Understood? Select length of the string value you are giving. So what it is displaying? 7. Okay. We are going string functions, man. You know what is string function? No. The string functions I am teaching you. Next one. Conversion functions over. Now I am going with string functions. Then I'll go with mathematical functions. Okay, I want substring. So what is the function name I am using? Substr is a function which will give you what? Substring of between second and fifth index. So you are sending how many arguments, sir? 3. One is the string, start index, end index. Simple. You want to convert from lowercase to uppercase. Select upper of cluster. So upper is one more function. It's a string function. So all these functions should be used to work with what? Strings. Done? So okay, it will convert into uppercase. Now see, this cluster will be converted into what? Lowercase. Done. So I need cap. Can you guess what it is? Initial cap means hello, H will be caps, word, W will be caps. See the display? H caps, W caps. Understood? And next means initial cap. The first word, every word, first letter will be converted to caps. Every word, first letter will be converted to caps. Now see, when you are using length, it will consider space also. Earlier cluster was telling what? 7. CLUSTER is 7 characters. Length of cluster was 7. But this time it is showing what? 9. This time it is showing you 9. Okay. So now it means it will consider space. That's what I am trying to say. It will consider space. Fine. Now one more function, see there. Trim. I will trim the value and display. So now it is removed. L trim means it will trim the values on, trim the spaces. Trim left trim means, L trim means it's a function which removes spaces on the left side of the string. It removes spaces on the left side of the string. So it is removing that space. Fine. R trim means what? It will remove the spaces on right side of string and it will display it. See here? L trim has been done. Now I will do what? R trim. So it is removing the space and displaying it to you. Next see. I can use 2 functions at a time. Length also I am using, L trim also I am using. Understood? So first L trim will be applied. If you calculate, if you call only length, earlier what it was displaying? See, earlier it was displaying what? 9. But now it will trim and calculate the length. That's all. Done? So again, length, if you do R trim, means you can use both the functions. Same, it will be 7. Okay. And this is something called as L pad. One more function is there. Run. So now see, L pad means left pad. What it will do, you are giving a string value. Whatever amount you are given, it will take. Means 7 characters it will take. And you have specified a size here 10. So whatever blank spaces are there, now it will be padded up with star. And it will do left padding. It will put the star onto the left side. That's it. R pad means what it will do? R pad means it will do the padding on the right side. That's it. But total is 10. So now one more is, if I don't use what? That character. Till now I was using 10 space and all that. What is that? Star. I was using star. So now say, here I was giving 3 arguments. 1, 2, 3. But here I am not giving any argument. Only it means I am giving 2 arguments. What will be the value now? Default will be space. The default padding will be space. It's not visible, but it will pad on the left side spaces. How many spaces? 3 spaces. Done? Okay. So that's it about string functions. Okay. And we'll now move to mathematical functions. Yeah. I think it is quite self-explanatory now. Absolute value. What it will give? Just to tell you again, see, I am covering these functions now. Which one? Mathematical functions. Absolute value, square root, sine. These functions I will cover now. Fine. See this. It's giving you the absolute value of what? Minus absolute value is nothing but positive value, that's it. Then next select absolute value of minus 23, it will be plus 23. Absolute value means it will give the positive whole number, that's it. Positive number, that's it. Okay, if you want square root, yes, you can use it. Square root of 9 is what? 3. Sine is what? You know sine value, no? Sine, cos, all you can use, tan, everything is there. Go on executing. Sine, cos, tan you do. Now, 2 more functions. Ceiling and floor. This I'll explain to you. You know what is ceiling and floor? Huh? What is ceiling value of 32.35? Or how do you calculate the ceiling value and floor value? How do you calculate the ceiling value and floor value? Or you tell me. What is the ceiling value of 32.35? Write down, you are telling me. Write down, I'll show you what is the answer. Then what is the floor, what is that? Ceiling value of minus 32.35. Write down, write down. You write, I'll show you the answer. That shows how good you are in engineering. Exam, small test here. Okay, so then what is the floor value of 5.9? And again floor value of minus 5.9. So let's see this. See, it's a very simple thing calculation. Put 0 here. Okay, positive numbers you put on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Negative numbers will go down. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Now, if I say, see, for positive number, top becomes the ceiling, bottom becomes the floor. Same here also, this becomes the ceiling, this becomes floor. Ceiling, roof, floor, understood? Fine. And now, first one we'll take 32.35. 32.35. What is the ceiling value? Up means 33. Ceiling value of this will be 33. Floor value of 32.35 will be what? 32. Down it will come. Understood? Floor value. Similarly, I think I have not calculated a ceiling value I have taken. Just understand this much. Next, floor value of 5.9. 5. Floor value of 5.9 will be 5. 5. Yeah, I think minus now. Okay, now we'll got the negative numbers. Minus 5.9. Floor is what? 5.9. It will be minus 6. Ceiling will be what? 5. Minus 5. That's it. Not important. Some functions are there. Just learn it. We'll hardly use it in an application. Why will you calculate ceiling value, floor value? Just functions are there. I am teaching it to you. That's it. So just you only understand and execute all this now. Select ceiling now. Ceiling S is what? 32.35. 33. Correct? Yes. Now ceiling of minus 32.35 is 32. Got the difference now? Minus 32 because it's negative number. Up it will look. Understood? Ceiling. Then same way. Floor 5. Down because it is positive number. Okay, just understand the table. You understand. You will understand automatically. This will be minus 6. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's about ceiling and floor. 2 functions. Now one more function. Round. Round function. Okay. 5.4. 5. Okay, if you want to round it to some nearest decimal, 2 places. We'll round up to 2 places. It will give what? 5.56. 5.56. 2 numbers it will round up. Round means full round. Or if you want, you can specify some decimal. Understood? It's like this. So like that, plenty of functions are there. Some are important, some are not important. Okay. Gradually, as you develop an application, you'll understand all this. Yeah? Okay. So these were the different queries, conversion functions and all that. I've got given it for you. Okay. I have not typed only today. All the queries are there in this which one? File. You can execute all these queries. Clear? All the queries are there. 1 second. I'll just if it was not visible there, and you can see something like this. Okay. I think anyway I'll give the source code now. Refer there. I think it was visible now, fonts and all. to underscore char. Yeah, fine then. So next class we'll go with aggregate functions then. Okay, that's it.